Yeah, hi everyone. So in the last class we discussed about triggers, different types of triggers as well as views we have discussed. Today we'll discuss one of the important topic, functions in SQL Server. Mostly in interview they will ask the powerful question interview is difference between functions and stored procedures in SQL Server. This is one of the popular top level question interview. So today we'll discuss about functions. Is it clear? And we already know about stored procedure. So let us see what is a function. Function is a subprogram which is used to perform a specific operation. Function will take input and return some output. Simply you can tell something like this. Function, simply here you can tell function is a subprogram. Is a subprogram which is used to perform specific operation. Please keep in mute all of you. Function is a subprogram which is used to perform a specific operation. Function will get executed when we call it. Function will get executed when we call it. Is it clear? Function will get executed when we call it. Is it clear? So generally functions are basically divided into two types. One is predefined functions. Other one is user-defined functions. Functions are basically divided into two types: predefined functions and user-defined function. Predefined functions are something like single row functions and multi-row functions. These two comes under predefined functions. Single row functions are mathematical functions. Similarly, string functions. Similarly, ranking functions. Similarly, date time functions. We already discussed in the previous videos. You can watch them. Multi-row functions are aggregate functions. Sum of. Similarly, here you have min of. Similarly, here you have max of. Similarly, here you have average of. Similarly, here you have count of. This all comes under multi-row functions. Function is a subprogram which is used to perform a specific operation. Functions are of two types. One is single row function, other one is multi-row function. This is all we have discussed. User-defined functions again divided into two types. One is scalar valued function, other one is table valued function. User-defined function again divided into two types: scalar valued function and what? Table valued function. Scalar valued function means the function which will process on. Is it clear? The function which will take input from the user and return only one value. That type of functions are called as scalar valued functions. What are scalar valued functions? The function which will take the input, from the user. Some input is not mandatory, optional. Which will take input from the user. Is it clear? Input from the user and return only one value. That type of function is called as scalar valued function. The function which will take input from the user and return only one value is called as scalar valued function. Is it clear? Syntax to create scalar valued function is, syntax is create function name. Is it clear? Here you can declare the parameters if required. And here you can write returns data type. Function mandatory, function will have data type will be there. Function will return the data type. Returns data type. Here you can write as begin and block. As begin end. In middle you can declare the variable declaration, execution, and here you can return some value or variable. Create function name, parameters, returns data type. This is scalar valued function. Scalar valued function will always return only single value as output. Is it clear? Syntax to invoke. Function or stored procedure will get invoked when we call it. Syntax to invoke scalar valued function. Syntax to invoke scalar valued function is select dbo dot function name of, here you have to pass some values. Select dbo dot function name of, you have to pass some values. That is the syntax to invoke the scalar valued function. Is it clear? The function which will return only single value. That type of functions are called as what? Scalar valued function. Is it clear? Function will take some input and return some output. Let us see, I'll try to create one simple function example. Here I'll try to declare one function. Create function. Function name I'll give some f1. At the rate a, data type is int. At the rate b, data type is int. Same like stored procedures only. But here return type is mandatory. Returns data type. I'll give the data type as int. Here I'll write as begin and block. In middle I'll try to declare one variable. Declare at the rate c, data type is int. Set at the rate c is equal to at the rate a plus at the rate b. And I will try to return. Return is mandatory at the rate c. So syntax to call the function. Select DBO means database object. Schema name is important at the time of invoking the function. Select DBO dot function name of, pass the values 7, 5. See what will happen. This is your function now. This function will execute when we call it. So at the time of calling the function, we are giving two inputs, 7 and 5. So 7 is stored in A, 5 is stored in B. Now here 7 plus 5, 12. 12 is stored in C. So this function will return some value, that is 12. I will try to print that value. If you want to print or select, you can use select command here. This is about scalar valued function. Is it clear? Similarly, if you want to, for example, mostly these will be used by pure database developers. Okay, na? For example, I will try to write something like this. Okay, so here what I will do, I want to create a function. Create a function to get employee name based on employee number. So here the input is employee number. So how to create a function? Create function get ename. Get ename. I'll try to pass the input at the rate e number. Data type is int. And here you can write returns data type. Returns varchar, because employee name I want to return now varchar of 50. Here I'll try to write as begin and block. As begin and block. In middle I want to declare the variable. Declare at the rate ename. Data type I'll give varchar of 50. And I want to set the value. How to set the value? Set at the rate ename is equal to select ename from emp, where e number is equal to at the rate e number. Is it clear? And here you can use return. Return at the rate ename. This is, and you're giving the input as employee number, you're getting the output as employee name. How to call the function? Select dbo dot function name. Get the ename of, you can give the input as 101. So function is a subprogram which is used to perform some operation. It will take some input and return some output. Yes, sir. Now here you can see, I'll create one function. My table name I'll give as employee, I think. Employer emp. Here I have one table with name. Emp is there. Yeah, fine. So create the function, execute. Is it clear? I think it is asking to connect. I'm connecting to the database server. But there are some minute differences are there between function and stored procedure. That is very powerful interview question. Actually, that question only, for that reason only, I'm teaching these functions. Very, very important interview question. Difference between stored procedure and function. Here you have to use returns data type, returns keyword, and here you have to use return keyword. It is returning some value. Execute. Command completed successfully. I'll try to view the input 101. I think 101 is not there in my table. That is separate database. I will use another database, MyDB. Here you see EMP having E number, E name, and salary. Okay, fine. I will use this MyDB. Here I'll try to create the function. Already a function with name get T name. Change the database name. MyDB. Yes. Now execute, create the function, and you can call the function. Right, you got the employee name Anil. That is about scalar valued function. Is it the function which will return a single value? Okay, that is how you can work with scalar valued function. Next one is table valued function. Next one is table valued function. Table valued function means what, all of you? The function which will take input and return some table as output. The function which will take input from the user. Which will take input from the user and return multiple rows and return multiple rows or entire table. That type of functions are called as table valued functions. Okay, syntax for table valued function is, here you can write something like create function, function name, and here you can pass the parameters. Pass the parameters, and here you can write returns table. The return type of table valued function is returns table. As there is no as begin end, here you can write return some select command. Because table valued function will return multiple rows from the table. Get, where is get? Get T name is the function name. Function name. Okay, create function, function name, parameters, returns table as return some select command. Yes or no? And in order to invoke the table valued function, syntax to invoke the table valued function is select dbo dot, select star from, you can write. Select star from dbo dot function name of. You can give some input. This is how you can work with table valued function. For example, let us see, create a function to get employee details based on employee number. So here you can write create function, function name, get emp, input I'll give @ e number, data type is int. Here you can write returns table. Here you can write as return. Here you can write select star from emp, where e number is equal to @ e number. So how to call the function? You can call the function this manner. How to call? Select star from dbo dot function name. Get emp of, you can give 101. That is your function actually. Did you understand? That is how you can work. Scalar valued function will return only single value. Table valued function will return what? Multiple rows from the table. So mostly in interview point of view, a very powerful question they will ask you. What is the difference between stored procedures and functions? Let us see the differences. Stored procedures. Here you can declare functions. See the differences. Point number 1. Stored procedure is set of precompiled SQL statements which will get executed. Which will get executed when we call it. Function is a subprogram. Function is a subprogram which is used to perform. Which is used to perform a specific operation. Which is used to perform a specific operation. Stored procedure is a set of precompiled SQL statements which will get executed when we call it. Function is a subprogram which is used to perform a specific operation. And point number 2. Stored procedure will have execution plan, because execution plan, function will not have execution plan. This is important point. Function will not have execution plan. Means every time when you try to execute the, what are the steps to work with stored procedure? Whenever you create a procedure, procedure will get compiled, and the compiled procedure is stored in where? Execution plan. But function does not have any execution plan. Is it clear? Stored procedure supports input parameters and output parameters. Stored procedure supports input parameters and output parameters. Function does not support output parameters and output parameters. Is it clear? Stored procedure supports both input parameters and output parameters. Function does not support. Function does not support output parameters. Stored procedure supports input parameters as well as output parameters. Function does not support output parameter. Stored procedure will not support return keyword. Function will support return keyword. Function requires return keyword. Function requires return keyword. Stored procedure will not support return keyword. Function requires return keyword. Stored procedure will support DML commands. We can write DML commands in stored procedure, but function does not support. Function does not support DML commands. Stored procedure will support select command. Function also will support select command. Function will support select command. Stored procedure will support select command. Function also will support select command. Stored procedure will support TCL commands. Function will not support. Function will not support TCL command. Okay, na? Most important point is stored procedure will support exception handling. Exception handling method. This is the highlight point. Function will not support exception handling. We already discussed about exception handling, stored procedure. Function will not support exception handling. Stored procedure will get executed. Will get executed by using exec command. Function will get executed by using select command. Stored procedure will get invoked by using exec command. Function will get executed by using select command. By using select command. It's very, very important point. Point number 10, you can tell. We can call, in interviews they'll ask one question. Can we call one stored procedure and another stored procedure? Yes. We can call one stored procedure in another stored procedure. We can call one function in another function. Something like that. These are the main differences between stored procedure and function. Yeah, SP not compile every time, it will compile only once. At the time of joins, see that type of queries will not write in functions actually. If you want, you can write, no problem. Select command only enough, join also it will support. Is it clear? So stored procedure is a set of pre-compiled SQL statements which will get executed when we call it. Function will get executed when we call it. But stored procedure can be invoked by using select command, exec command. Function can be executed by using select command. Very, very important interview question. Stored procedure is a set of precompiled SQL statements which will get executed when we call it. Did you understand? This is how you can work with what? Functions. Yes or no? Generally, front-end developers like Java or .NET developers, they will take the support of okay. So mostly in interview point of view, main questions are about first important question: what is the difference between char, varchar, nchar, and varchar that you already watched? What are the different DML commands that are available? Difference between update and delete and truncate. Okay, na? And joins, subqueries, stored procedure and functions. How to delete duplicate records? How to display the fifth maximum salary of an employee? Is it clear? How to display the top